Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome to Steve-O's world. Yes. These backer boards, 1/4 inch. I have not played with 1/2 inch backer board, and I really don't want to, because just playing with these and cutting these, I realized that 1/2 inch, I have not tried scoring and cutting those yet, the 1/2 inch. But I do like the 1/4 inch as far as ease of cutting them, scribing them, and snapping them. But speaking of snapping, you can see this crack here. When I painted these, okay, I painted this particular one white, and I paint the edges along here, okay? And then I set them out on different things, rails and whatnot, individually, and I let them dry. I came back the next day and I stacked them up and put them on a rail and put them in my inventory. Well, with doing that, the paint, if it's still maybe slightly tacky, they start sticking together. All right, and what you can do is go in with a hive tool and get in the crack and just, they'll come apart, okay? They'll come apart, but you have to use a little finesse. Otherwise, you'll make a mess, all right? And what happens, if you get a little too crazy on the end here, this happens. They'll snap in 2 pieces. If you happen to snap one of these, don't touch this raggedy edge. Just leave it just like you find it. Take it in, get you some wax paper, get a nice flat surface. See, I have a steel top bench here, and I laid down a piece of wax paper. Take the 2 halves, so you can salvage these. We don't want to throw this material away. These are $1 a piece. If you buy them if you buy 3 by 5 sheet, these end up being about $1 a piece. Now you could take, if you snapped one, take a good one, and this textured side, you could do this also. You could use this sacrifice piece here and put another one, backer board with a smooth side, with the rough side, texture side together. Get you some Bondtite 3. This is badass stuff. It's waterproof exterior, interior. This stuff is fantastic. You can even glue up longbows with this stuff. It's pretty good glue. And you could just put a bunch of it zigzag across and put the 2 together and put a weight on it, maybe a dumbbell or something on top to squeeze it and leave it overnight. But if you'll take and put down a piece of wax paper, you can salvage this backer board here, because this thing is still, I haven't really put a lot of tension on this, because you'll probably snap it in another spot. But this thing is plenty serviceable. It can go right back in to a colony here, on top of a colony. There's nothing wrong with it. So you put that wax paper down, you set it on, leave about maybe 1/8 of an inch, 3/16 space in this crack here. Take your glue and just fill it, right? And then you just push it together, the 2 ends, push it together and squeeze the glue out. Grab a paper towel or a damp cloth and wipe the extra. Don't worry about what's underneath. This is what ended up underneath. It's sprawled out a little bit, okay? But that bonded perfectly. That seam went right back together perfectly. So there's a little backer board screw up tip if you need it down the road. Yeah, guys, we got today's what, the 20th? Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, one day after my birthday. Yeah, it is, 20. Oh my goodness, this Brazilian pepper is coming along beautifully here. That thing bloomed out last year, guys. I cut it way down and it just blows back up. If you don't, this thing will get into a 20-foot tree. I don't want it too nuts here, but you know, I may get a little bigger this year. Yeah, today is 19th. Yesterday, my B-Day. Thank you very much, Guy, for all of the happy birthday stuff that you guys sent and whatnot. Thank you, Man Lake. Man Lake sent me a gift certificate for my birthday for $50. So guess what that's going into? More frames. They'll get that money back. And when you buy there from now on, it's up. It used to be $100, and you get free shipping. It's $150 now. So, but it don't take long in bee equipment to get wrapped, you know, to get it going. But the only thing I buy a little wax from them to throw in my crock pot, because I roll extra wax with my 4-inch roller on them foundations, plasticell. They were out of black. I like black. I like a wood frame with black plasticell, but they were out of black, so I got yellow last time, but that's fine. And it didn't even come from Winter Haven, which is just to my east. It came from Texas. Whatever. I don't care where it comes from, but it took a couple extra days to get from Texas to here. If I order here, I can get it. Usually it's sitting on my doorstep the next day. It's incredible. So God bless you guys at Man Lake. Thank you very much. Steve-O's been a little busy. Speaking of busy, we got to make up some nukes today. We got to go through everything we've got, okay? Everything we've got back in the forest, around and about. And I've got my other bee yard over yonder. And, oh, look what's happening here. Elderberries. Elderberries. These will be black. I don't know if I'll make any tincture. I may just let this all go to seed and let it scatter through here and just let it go nuts. I've got plenty of tincture. I can see it back over there. It's all over. I've got this going on. Elder, but yeah, I've been a little busy. Here's some chocolate boxes. And I've ordered Miss Daisy. I bought 30 of these. They're China, the little disc. They're, I think, 6 different flavors you get. So yeah. See, we got the 6 different flavors. We got pink, white, green, blue, red. We got it going on, okay? Yeah, these are my chocolate boxes with that Oops paint. It was a stain, and this finally dissipated. I put them out here to air out. My God, that stuff was strong smelling. But anyway, yeah, I like these nukes. These, after 60 years of fooling around with Beehive designs and stuff, I like these. Now, this is not a standard. There's standard frames going, these Beefies, the ST Beefy Beehives. And when I put the screen on, last thing I do, I put a staple down here, 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 and here. That tightens that screen up just a little bit. You're stapled along the edges on the bottom here, as you can see. And yeah, and then of course, the last thing we do, we put on these cleats on the bottom to keep them so you can stack them up in a truck or whatever. And you got airflow under there, and the bees don't get, you know, suffocating and stuff. But yeah, all my years of beekeeping, this design box with this backer board lid here, I am just loving it, loving it, loving it. So that's probably the design I will stick with forever. I've been harvesting more pallet wood. Yesterday I went down and got more pallet wood. There was about 8. They had about 20 pallets. But keep in mind, I may go over there and show you one day when I'm picking up pallets, which ones to leave, which ones to pick up. And this particular flooring store, they use it's like a one-shot deal on these pallets. They're using like brand new wood. Of course, it's, you know, it's scab wood that they get remnants off of sawmills and stuff to make pallets. They don't take really #2 wood to make a pallet. I mean, that would be crazy. They use scab wood they probably get for free to make these pallets, but they just turn into an excellent beehive, guys. You buy the 2x8 ends, you cut them 10 inches high. These sideboards here on these are 21 5/16. you cut your ledge here. You only got one saw set up on these. You set your fence at 3/4 of an inch, your table saw 3/4 of an inch. That makes that split down the center, and you keep your blade up 3/4, it's a tad higher. I go a little bit higher than the wood thickness. Okay, just a tad. You experiment, because when you cut this, you stand the board up, the 10-inch board up. You plow it down through. That cuts this line. Then you flop it on its side. You don't change any fences or nothing, and you push it through, and that creates your frame rest. You do have to adjust them slightly, but you get so fast at that, it's ridiculous. So you have an even B space, because you can shove these up, and the end boards will touch this. You don't want that. You want them to back off a little bit, but you get very fast at that and eyeball that, and it just works out great. Absolutely great. So I've got a little bit in my inventory here. Let's see what we got over here. That queen cell builder's coming along nice. We might probably just go in there. I don't know if I'm going to do any grafting or not. I'm going to be doing walkaways on my nice breeder colonies. That's what we're going to do. Breeder colonies get resources robbed. Bees, we're in a dearth right now. The bees, as you can see, extremely hungry. I mean, I filled this up. You see these bull ants, guys? These are problem childs right here. Yeah, they're a problem child. There's so many bees here. They would be down in here sucking up this liquid right now, but the bees are so fast and furious, they've chased them up here, okay? These are the problem. These are the reason. These ants here are the reasons that I'm doing ant moats on the majority of my hives now. They're eating a lot of pollen substitute. I'm gonna have to top that out. But yeah, we've got over here some more boxes. I call these my baby poop boxes. Yeah. Yeah, baby poop. Doesn't that look like baby poop to you guys? Look at that color on that. That's Oops paint from Lowe's. So yeah, I mean, these boxes are working out beautiful. So I'm getting up my inventory. I don't want to wait around, guys, till the last minute and say, oh, I need a box. What am I going to put the bees into? And the beauty of these is, these things here, you can just turn them to air holes, and then you do your transport. Make sure when you load these bees to go to your next site, make sure you, of course, shut that, and don't have a little brain seizure when you get to your other site. And remember, don't forget to open them up to that. And what's the beauty of these is you don't really need to open it up. That's a 7/8 hole right there, 7/8 hole. These nukes are kind of delicate. They're prone to rob out. So you can close these down to about, 1/2-inch hole like that when you get to the other side. You don't need to blow it all the way open. And that way, these more delicate hives can handle and guard this entrance better than they could a wide open hole. Because these, in a dearth, as you can see right now, we have a dearth. You put a little bottle like this out, and this is a good way to go too. This is just a little 4-inch PVC pipe with some gutter fittings is all that is. I got a cap here, and I've hung it from this little branch, and I've got a downward slope. I normally put this wire on. Rats, I got wood rats around here. They love to taste this pollen. They will come in here and eat pollen. I set a camera up and watched wood rats running in and out of this thing, and I said, I am not feeding wood rats. So I come out here before dark, and I put this cage over the front, and that handles that. I've got to get in here in the shed. We got to talk about something. We got to talk about something with Ronnie here. So let's go talk about Ronnie a minute. Yeah, Yeah, we gotta talk. I gotta talk to Ronnie a little bit here, guys. Ronnie, come on. I call him Ronnie. His name's Ron. You know Ron. He's our governor. Great governor. Love him to death. But Ronnie, please, Ronnie, it's not your time yet, okay? And here's what I want you to do. I want you to make a phone call. I know your testosterone level is up, and your testicles are getting so large you're stepping on them. I understand it. I was young like you at one time, and I can call you Ronnie because I'm older than you are, okay? So I'm not disrespecting you. I'm just, I'm older than you are, so I do that with everybody. Sam, call him Sammy, whatever. Jim, Jimmy, I just do that. It's just Steve-O talking. It's nothing. I'm not cutting you down or nothing, but listen, Ron. It's not your time yet, okay? It's not your time yet, okay? So we have to give Donald, we gave the black guy, okay, and I got nothing against black people. I have black friends, okay. I asked my black friends the other day, I was asking them, I said, what do you think of Al? They just started laughing. They said, what a clown act he is. He's just dividing the whole country, old Al. You know who Al is, guys. He's been around forever pushing this separation, dividing the country, just like the black man we had for 8 years, guys. Yeah, he's a divider. He said he can bring everybody together. No, he's doing whatever they tell you, guys. Whatever the Democrats tell you, think of the exact opposite, because that's what's going to come down the pike. Okay, they're going to do the exact opposite. They're too full of it, guys. They're right. Most of they're so full of it. The majority of them, their eyes are brown. Okay, that's that. It's just fact. It's not. But here's what I want you to do, Ronnie. I want you to make a phone call to Donald, okay? And I'm gonna play you on this. I'm gonna play you, Ronnie, on this deal, okay? So let's go ahead and make the call right now. Get this out of the way. I know you haven't made the announcement you're running, but you're all over the whole USA right now. We know where it's going, okay? But before you make that great announcement and kind of make a, I don't know, maybe a fool of yourself, I don't know. You could be making a fool of yourself, but here's what I want you to do. I want you to call Donald, and let's punch the number in now, and let's make the call. I'm playing you, Ronnie, so listen up. Listen to this, how I want you to do this. Hello, okay, it's ringing now. One ringy dingy, two ringy dingy. Hello, Donald. Ron here. Oh, don't start with it. Come on. Donald, don't start with the name calling right from get-go, right out of the box. Sanctimonious. Come on, Donald. You're better than this. And if you're not, I'm going to start calling you shithead, okay? Let's calm down. You called me, you started it. You called me sanctimonious. Every time you call me sanctimonious, I'm calling you shithead, okay? How's your day going, Donald? How's Melania? She all right? God, she sure is. She sure is hot. Anyway, Donald, I realized, we need to come together, Donald. You and I need to be as a team here to save this great nation, and between the two of us, we can get this done. Okay. This country cannot afford another 4 years of craziness from the far left. No, we cannot. This country will not endure another 4 years. We have to get the corruption, the crazy out. So I'm not going up against you in any debates or anything. What I do want to do is you and I team up together, because I want you back in the White House for another 4 years. That'll give you a total of 8. And then when you're out, here's the deal, Donald. Here's the deal. Here's the kicker here. I'm going to promote and I'm going to push this thing to the limit to get you back in there, okay? Me and you are going to be buds. So, in return for that, I want you to promote me, because I want, just like you, I want 8 years in there. I know, you're saying that he's saying that the first 4 didn't count. I know, Donald, listen, they're not going to let you do it. They're not going to let you do 3 rounds of 4 years. No, they're not going to let you do that, Donald. I know, but you're going to be an old fart by the time you get out with this next 4 years anyway. So you and Lonnie can just sit on the golf course and drink margaritas or something, okay? And then I'll get in, because I'm a young buck, and I'll take the ball and run with it, okay? What do you think of that deal, Donald? You like it, don't you? You like it. You like it. All right, buddy. Me and you are buds, blood brothers from now on. All right. Thank you, sir. Good talking to you. We'll see you back in the White House. Bye-bye. Okay, Ronnie. Are you listening, Ronnie? That's exactly the way I want this thing to go. I don't want you thinking about it no more, okay? Just help Donald get back in. Enough said. All right, guys, let's get suited up here and get back out here. See how the girls are going to be. I have no clue how testy they're going to be today. It's a beautiful day in sunny Florida. Hot. We've been in a drought. Well, the rainy season hasn't started yet. I've been talking to the boys. The citrus crop this year was sucked. It was bad. I talked to South Florida beekeepers. Beekeeper to my north that runs citrus said it was terrible. Gallberry was pretty good, he said. I don't know about saw palmetto. They bloom back to back, those 2 crops. And then we're going to go into cabbage palm, sable palm. Us Florida crackers call it cabbage palm. That's the one. That's the palm you can eat the heart out of the tree, but of course you kill the tree. And then state don't like that too much, because I don't understand why. Because it's the Florida state tree. Did you know that? Cabbage palm. Florida crackers have been eating that heart of palm forever. They live on it. The boys up, the inbreeders up the road, that some of the inbreeders, I mean, these are Deliverance guys. Did you see the movie Deliverance? Okay, well, not far north of me is a whole bunch of them, and I know them. I don't go in the woods with them, and I sure wouldn't want to wear a T-back in the woods with them, okay, guys? You're probably better to wear a chastity belt when you go up there in the woods with these guys. All right. But anyway, yeah, one of my buds, he had a chainsaw. He's got a chainsaw for wood. He's got one for cabbage palm, and the cabbage palm one has got, he'd buy whatever cheap cooking oil he could find and pour into the chain bar lube instead of the other stuff, which is just, you know, crude oil you're pouring. You don't want to, you're cutting out your cabbage palm with crude oil. No. Vegetable oil is what you lube your chain bar with on that deal. So if you guys start getting into cabbage palm cutting, put a little canola oil in there maybe, or whatever, you know. But anyway, yeah, the crops weren't doing that well so far this year. I don't know what the Brazilian pepper crop will do. Right now we have tallow. There's some tallow coming in. There's some other stuff. I've been looking at the pollen, and it does look kind of white pollen. I think that's tallow. I've got quite a bit of tallow around here, but it's not as much as they have in Texas or on around the Horn up here. In the Panhandle, there's some along the coast. That stuff can handle some fairly salty ground. The tallow tree, Chinese tallow. I guess China makes tons of it, And I don't really know what the honey tastes like. Maybe you guys can leave a comment on tallow, some of you Texas guys. I don't know if they have any in Australia or not, but I would think that would be a good place to raise tallow also. But China has tons of it, and they help flood our market with tallow honey, the China people. You know, we got these politicians that make these sweet deals and just totally screw the American farmer on everything. Yeah, we flood, you know, take $1 a pound honey. I don't know what it's running wholesale. I haven't made honey in eons. I don't like making honey. It's just totally a sticky mess, okay? It's a sticky mess. I just leave any honey I make. I may take a frame out of Brazilian pepper. If I can drop some in. Sometimes I put string frames in. At the beginning of that, I'll put some string frames in the upper portion, and they'll blow that thing out. They'll just fill it up. You can make cut comb. You know, you can cut the ends on that string frame. I use 30-pound mono, run it across, about 4 strands across the deep frame. Or if I have medium equipment, I'll do the same thing. And they'll make you some pretty, and you take your 4-inch cutter, stainless steel cutter, and you can get those clamshells, and you can cut that stuff out and lay it on a table, flat table, and with cutting board, and cut out those 4-inch chunks out of those frames and put in those boxes and give them out for gifts. I do that a lot. Not a lot. I did it a few years in a row. I don't think I did anything last year. I give a bottle of honey here, bottle of honey there to some people I know. And if I got my bee location over here, I keep old Hippie David. He likes honey. So he likes cannabis and honey, so I keep him dialed in there. I don't have any cannabis though. Our corrupt government right now doesn't let us grow like they do in Michigan. Yeah, so wish they would. I wouldn't smoke that stuff. I don't want no smoke. I don't even want bee smoke coming in my lungs, guys. These burnt pine needles. No, I put my smoker upwind. I let it get a blow away from me. I don't want to breathe that stuff. But I would make cannabis tincture, great painkiller, or cannabis cream. Use coconut oil in that and reduce this cannabis down and use it that way. Alrighty, let's quit BSing, get out here. It's getting hot. I got another shirt going on top. So I'm gonna try to work light. Just take some hits. You know, if I take 50 hits or more, what happens is I spray my hands with vinegar, white vinegar. I saw a beekeeper the other day take an apple cider vinegar. He likes that. I've never tried that. I may try it someday. If they get testy, put some apple cider vinegar on to see what the difference is, you know, on that. But he claimed apple cider vinegar works great on his hands, because I like working barehanded. But if I get hammered too hard, I'll go ahead and just throw on the deep, big suit, which you just melt, and it's ventilated too. It's ventilated, but you just melt in that thing. Yeah, so anyway, I think I'm going to go and get my neck fan. I got a neck fan. I don't know if it's charged up. I'm going to get my neck fan, put it on underneath my veil, and see if that'll help me a little bit. Maybe knock off some of the heat. Well, let's make up what we can. Like I say, this is the new moon. I like to make up my colonies between new moon and full moon. Yesterday was the new moon, so yeah. So you got like 15 days, so I work it. And this works out perfect, guys. I love this time of year. You know, you sell off the bulk of your bees, your nukes in the spring, but then you got the rest of the summer to build up. And then I try to, at the end of February, do a sale and unload these bees and retain what I can. But this is kind of a fun year. Every month I do this. I go into my colonies and rob out. If I've marked it, like today is 5/20, so we'll go in. We'll mark our tops with a magic marker. 6/20. I'll put check 6/20 on all the ones we make up. We won't go back into those boxes at all for a full 30 days, and then we'll see what we got. And anything that failed, we'll take that material, and usually by then wax moth heaven will come in, because I like to try to pick a lot of sealed brood and just a few eggs and a food frame, and then 2 planes. That's how I usually run my nukes, 5-frame nuke setup for a walk away. And by 30 days is done, you've still got ample bugs in that box to guard those frames from wax moth and such. So yeah, I'm really curious to see how Scott's GrubX works. I've been casting some of that under my stands. The reports I have, that really knocks down hive beetles, and they are a pain in the ass here. I'm telling you, they are a pain here in Florida, especially where I'm at. I'm in the forest here under dapple light with these bees, and that's not really a great place to keep bees for keeping them happy. I mean, as far, you can keep them in the shade, dapple light, but they get a little testy sometimes, and the African hive beetles love that shaded area. You put them out in full sun, they don't seem to like that environment. But you put them in the shade where I have them. Well, I have kind of a locked-in situation here where I have to do that. I don't have lots of land here. This is a tightly run operation here. I can't put them all over the yard. I have a lot of people, traffic, Miss Daisy's girlfriends, whatever, coming in and out of here. I cannot have people getting stung up by this or that. So I'm kind of tucked in. And back in the day, this is the way I had to run all the time, because I was a shotgunner. And a shotgunner is just a guy that goes around, sees a nice place nice woods or whatever, where you can drive in with your truck without getting stuck, and offload bees. And you have no clue who owns the land, okay? To do that, I did that a lot in the 70s and 80s, and even in the 60s when I worked with the Phillip boys. They had a commercial operation, and that's all we did back in the day was shotgun. And occasionally we'd get our ass chewed, but we'd put out a phone number on a little sign so they could call you. What in the hell are you doing on my property? Oh, and this was always my story, guys. Really? You're not so-and-so? I'd make up a name. No, I'm not so-and-so. Well, my buddy of mine told me that was so-and-so's property. I don't give a hell what the hell he told you. This is my property and you're on it. I apologize, sir. Oh my God, I apologize. Do you like honey by chance? Do you like honey? Yeah, most of the time. Yeah, I like honey, but I said, sir, I will get those bees out of there as soon as I can. I work for a living. This is a sideline thing I do. And can you just give me a little time, sir, and I'll leave you out some honey out there. I'll swing by, but I can't move them till the weekend. But God, I wish I could just stay there. I mean, the crop just started. I'd always tell them the crop just started, and God, I'm gonna lose out on that crop. You're in a beautiful spot to make such and such, whatever it was that was hitting that time. And by the time I got done silver tonguing these people, guys, you got to sometimes polish your silver tongue, all right? And most of the time when I got done talking to these people with my silver tongue, that they say, you know, I've never met you, but you seem like a pretty good guy. I'm just going to let you stay there. And I just thank them, and I'll leave you out honey, and this, yada, yada, and this, and more than half the time, guys, I could get away with it. Unbelievable. Silver tongue. I'm just so glad, guys, I don't have to do that anymore. I'm just sitting here. Old Steve-O's retired. He just does this basically as a hobby that pays for itself. I mean, yeah. How many hobbies you got to pay for itself and that you enjoy it? If you don't enjoy it, well, get out of it, right? Get out of it. But it just seems like the more I do this, the more I like it. So take it for what it's worth. I mean, yeah, I just enjoy it, and I don't think I'll ever get tired of it. I really don't. It's something you really will never. It doesn't matter how long you've done this. You think you got bees figured out, they always throw you a curveball, and that, I think, is the part of beekeeping that keeps you really interested. They keep trying to figure them out, but you never will. I mean, they're quite amazing creatures, and they're quite a gift from God, actually, and they never cease to amaze me. So let me stop talking and go to work. We got to get something done today, guys. I'm going to make up what I can here, haul to my other bee yard. There's a hive over there, double stacked, and the brood pattern on that girl over there. There's one there. The date, I've dated it, it's a walk away, and I have not, that date isn't up yet. I think it's the end of this month that I got to peek. We'll check the top of it. I don't think it's ready to be peeked at yet. And I don't open them up. I even leave the shrink wrap on them. That's another indicator. Leave the shrink wrap on them, because when I shrink wrap them when I leave here to go there, I'll leave the shrink wrap on them until it's the check date. That's another indicator that you just glance over. You see the shrink wrap. You know, it's not time to go into it till you check the date on the top. So that colony there, I want to go into. I'm going to take an extra nuke over, and I'm going to go into that box and rob out resources. I may, if I see the queen in there, I think I'm going to try to find that queen and bring her back to base camp here, because I'm going to put breeder on that. That girl's going to be a breeder, I'm telling you right now. The way she looks, I hope her temperament's still good. You never know around here in Florida when a rogue queen's going to move in and take over and kick the other queen's ass, and then you've got a mean colony. You never know here. It's a roll of the dice. But she wasn't bad disposition, and that brood pattern was excellent. And it seemed like they were just storing resources like crazy, pollen, honey, this and so. What I'll do, and this would be the smart thing to do, rob her, bring her back to base camp, give her more room to expand in there, and we might even be able to when I get there, rob enough resources there to put in another colony. I don't know. There may be enough stuff there to, she may have enough resources there to make 2 nukes. I think I'll take two nukes over there with 10 frames in there, and I'll have options. When I look in there, there's only 2 over there. So whatever I take here, the owner of that property said that he didn't want really see more than 5 colonies over there. But he's usually so high on cannabis and that he really doesn't know what I'm doing. So, but I don't want to push the issue. You know, I don't want to set up another stand over there and get over my limit. Whatever the owner requests, guys, respect it. Don't bust balls. Trust me, I've done this too long. Don't break anybody's shops, because if you get the boot, then you've lost it. And real estate, guys, I'm telling you, real estate with this beekeeping and the way they're pouring into this state today, Oh my God, it's getting worse and worse to find location. That's why that spot I've got over here is gold to me, because if I lose it, I can do it all on this site. I can do everything on this site. But the quantity of bees and the plus over there, I don't know why, and this is the other mystery of beekeeping. I don't know why, but that location, guys, makes some of the best queens over there. Now, I've been told by David that further south, not far, he knows some guy that raises bees. He said he don't have a clue what he's doing, David said. I don't know how he knows that. So there are bees in the area, and apparently there's good genetics in that area, because I'm making some excellent queens. So the drone load over there, I'm getting some good mating on my nukes over there. So I've been over there for, oh God, 10 years or more. And it's every year, it just amazes me the quality of queens I'm making on that site. So anyway, let's go to work. Okay guys, I gotta make up some feed here before I go. And what I do, I just get hot tap water from the house, and I get half a bucket of sugar, and then I'll go back and do it again. So we're ending up with 10 gallons of water and 10 gallons of sugar, and that pretty much feeds everything I've got so far. So it depends on your, you know, the amount of bees you have and everything. And this is a pain here too, because we're in a dearth and the bees are coming in here wanting the syrup. So I never let this get down too low before I add more. So half a bucket at a time, toting from the house to here, because I keep my sugar up in the main barn, that one, and of course I get my hot tap water at the house. So yeah, I just haul half a bucket at a time, that way you're not straining your back or nothing. Also each time I fill up this, I put a pretty good pinch of Redmond sea salt in this water. Sometimes I add essential oils, I'll add tea tree, you know, but about every time I put in a good pinch of sea salt in there, because the bees need them minerals also. Alrighty guys, get things lined up here. I've got I set my lid off over here. First thing I did is tore off a little piece of Gorilla Tape. Oh, that's on there, it won't blow off. I've got my shrink wrap here. I got to go get a staple gun, because, you know, as we know, we put I always leave a nice tag in. Leave this out, don't let this come back around. It's a real booger getting off of there, off of that shrink wrap when it sticks to itself. So leave a tag in when you put it up, and that way you can fold it over like so, and just zap one staple there, then it's held and you can go around. I set my frames here. You'll notice I set them out of the sun. Don't put them on the sunny side over here. This stuff warps easily. These are Man Lakers. Smelling good, baby. Smelling good, brand new, with extra wax rolled on. These are some old salvage ones. Clean them up and reuse them. I have not tried yet. I want to try pressure washing some of these dye outs to see how that works, but try to catch them to where they don't get to where the wax moths are chewing it up if you can. I know it's sometimes hard to do. Try to get the stuff back on another colony, have a super ready, load it, put it on a hot colony so they can move into it and take back over and start filling it with resources. So we're all set up here to go with my first box. I have loaded a bunch of beetle barns once we get at the other location. Before I shrink wrap it, I'll put a beetle barn in here. That way when I'm on my other side, I can leave my shrink wrap on, just take this plug out and set a feeder on, write my date on the top, and then I'm good to go. While I'm getting my stuff all prepared and ready to go here, here's my vinegar, and here's another shrink wrap. We'll keep them over here. We've got plenty of shrink wrap. Never run out of shrink wrap, guys. Keep your vinegar water, or your vinegar, not vinegar water. That's straight white vinegar. Keep that on standby to keep your hands clean while you're working your bees. And if you start getting stings on your shirt or whatever, start spraying your shirt too with it. They just don't seem to like it. They'll back off usually. Okay guys, got my smoker, or my smoker fired up. Sprayed my hands with a little vinegar. I like to work off the back of my truck. It's nice convenient heights. I put one box at a time here. I'm not that far from the bees here or there, so I just take one frame at a time over here that I've selected to make this walk away. I insert it, and then I take back what plain frames to refill the hive. And yeah, I will be, syrup's mixing fine. I've got probably, I don't know, there's probably 12-13 gallons of liquid feed in there. So while that's mixing nicely, and keep the lid on this because you can see what we've got here. This thing guys would be full of bees if you left that off. And we don't need to be grinding up bee bodies through the pump. So yeah, this is the way I roll right here. I carry extra water. This jug was nice. You find a nice jug, drill a hole in it, and I just tie it off here on the edge. And while I'm in the field and you get all sticky with honey, whatever, you can come in and wash your hands off. So that's kind of nice. Simple setup. This little 99 Ranger handles just fine. If I get a lot of bee boxes, I'll take that. I've got it cabled off. I just throw the tire back that way and shove boxes, and I can fill this whole thing. I could double stack them, but there's no way we're gonna make up that many. If I make up 5 walkaways here today, that'll be good. I'm satisfied. That's plenty. And then we'll do it again next month. We'll just keep on going. Let's start cracking some hives and see what we can steal. All right, the first hive I've cracked, guys, they've got 3 frames here. They're doing well, but they've got a frame and a half they haven't moved into yet. So this hive is not going to be touched. I'm going to move on. Let's see what it looks like next month. That's how simple it is, guys. Keep the feed on them. Keep them cooking. Let's keep hunting. All right, guys, here's a double stacker. I put this box on not too long ago. And this is the kind of stuff that I want to steal from right here. See this thing? It's just wall to wall. These bees are docile. The beautiful pattern here. The thing we have to be careful with here, I do not want to steal the queen out of this colony. And from what I'm seeing down in here, the amount of bees, I do not want to steal but more than 1 frame from these girls right now. But all these bees and this brood and everything should be going into a starter colony. And you can see that. So if I can get 1 more like this, and then 1 food frame, this would be a perfect walk-away split. And you know, this is what Steve-O looks for right here. This is the cream of the crop right here. That's what we want. Okay, guys, I got 1 made up here. I got 3 nice frames in here, lots of bees. I didn't find a good, there was a lot of honey on these 3 frames that I stole, but there wasn't much pollen, so I dropped on a gob of pollen patty right there. So it's a good idea to do that. They're really nice frame I found over there, super nice. The queen was on it, and I didn't want to bother her. I left her on that and grabbed the frame next to it. So there's a good makeup here. This thing's ready to rock and roll. I'm going to store it in the shade right here on the ground for now. I'm going to put a flat lid down on it so the grass is not tucked up under here tight. I want lots of ventilation there, but I want to put it in the shade until I've got everything loaded. So we just go through that whole line. I've got 1 more hive over here on that whole line. and all I was able to steal was 3 frames. I've got one more hive. I don't know if I can get goodies out of that or not, but we've got these others. I'm quite sure that that breeder right there, that double stacked 8, I can get at least 3 frames out of that without knocking them down too bad. And then I've got a couple girls over here. There's one in that 10, and there's one down there in that other feeder jar. I might be able to steal 1 out of that and probably 2 out of that. That'll give me another nuke. And then just have to see what I got here, you know. Hey, if I only get 4 or 5, that's fine. I'm a no big yank. I can just grab one from this one or that one, and it doesn't matter. You can combine bees, guys. It don't matter. Don't let that pucker you up. You can rob frame from this one, 2 from that, combine the bees. Yeah, they may get a little pissy, moany a little bit, but they'll get over it, you know. It's kind of like, I don't know, Nancy and Hillary. They piss and moan all the time, but they get over it, you know. Yeah, I'll put all my nukes in the shade as I make them up, and then the last thing, I'll load them on the truck before we get out of here. Last thing you want to do before you have a brain seizure, put your date on here. Today's 5/20, put check 6/20. And yeah, to see if your new baby girl made it back. Okay, here's my second frame. I got a frame of honey and pollen in there, and here's my second frame, but there's no eggs in here. And that came out of my double stacked 8 framer over here. So we're gonna look for another frame of eggs. Okay, guys, here's my third and final frame. I'm really hunting this over close. I see some really bright yellow pollen in here, and here's some white pollen, and not a lot though, not a lot. So I'm gonna put pollen sub over there in this other yard. It doesn't have any now, but I'm gonna put some in for these bees because I'm really hunting this thing over close for my queen. I've not seen her yet, so we obviously don't want to steal her, although they would make another queen in 30 days. You'll have another queen over here, but I want them to build up resources. I want that queen to stay on site. There is some pollen up in here, a little bit of pollen along this upper edge, but not tons of it. So this frame here will be our second nuke of the day. I don't know how many we're going to get. If I can get 3 or 4, I'm happy. That'll give us a little Christmas package or a birthday gift in 30 days to see what we get, right? Yeah, this is just casual beekeeping, easy going to get it, you know. I don't have to crank out, Steve-O don't need to crank out 50 to 100 of these a month to make a paycheck, you know. Because I don't rely on this. This is a Steve-O hobby, and that's what I want you guys to be into, a hobby. Yeah, I just robbed another frame from a colony over here. I put breeder on it, and she's doing really well here. She's got a combination of everything: pollen, honey, graftable larvae down in here, some good sealed stuff. Yeah, nice pattern. There's an old start of a cell that didn't happen. Queen cell. Anyway, she's not on here. She's not on here at all, so we're gonna take this one. Yeah, guys, I'm over here at the other bee yard. I done set out. This is one I had here. We can't check this until 6/4. Lots of bees. I brought more food for them, this one and that one. I brought an extra box. I was hoping to get a split off of this one here. She's a nice girl here. She's laying this thing up beautifully, and you can see that pattern there. I mean, this is a good height, but she's just not fat enough yet. There's no need robbing them out, you know, robbing this stuff out too fast. Yeah, let them fatten it up good first. Before you start robbing frames out. So I'll come back next month. She should be blowed out good, and we'll rob her. I like her. She's got a good disposition, and I got room for more here. I could put 3 more on here. That'd be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I could at least get 8 on this. Maybe even get more if I push it down further. I just recently put moats on this one. I need to refill. I brought syrup, and I'm going to put pollen in there, and I'm going to put a dripper on that so they can find it easily. So yeah, we'll come back. This is all I'm going to do for this month. Just 3 of them. So we'll see how they go. And I've got feeders for all of these, so we'll load them up and put the switch on autopilot. And I appreciate you guys. And you guys are the bee's knees. Remember that, the bee's knees. Google that one. Google it, and I'll see you next month. Or not next month. I'll see you sooner than that. And just do me a favor until I see you again. Keep your titty out of the ringer, okay? Because it hurts like hell. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.